Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Zoronden, and you are tuned into the 5th game of my little mini marathon here this week. They are all fan games, and this of course is the final one, so let's check out today's combatants. In the top right corner, the red Terran, pHiL. And in the bottom left corner, the other Terran, he's blue, and that is Stoned. And as I said, this is another game sent in by the fans. It is a Diamond League match on the map Cloud Kingdom. Obviously, we're going to have to watch how these two players are going to mirror each other. They have both grabbed their natural expansions quite on par with each other. They have grabbed orbitals as well at the same time. Both gases are going up as well. You will notice the game is a little fast. I am doing that just to speed it up. It is a lengthy game, and I do not want to sit around forever. So do not worry, when any combat starts, I will make sure that the game is at normal speed for us to enjoy that. We do see both naturals going into orbitals at the same time. We've got reactors going down on barracks. Yes, both barracks. There's a third barracks under construction by Stoned. I believe there is indeed a third as well for pHiL, as well as an eBay going down. Combat shields by both players, a second reactor by both players. Looks like they both might be massing Marines. It is quite a common tactic to do. You just mash that A button until it bleeds. However, we do now have an upgrade going down for pHiL. It is +1 weapons. We'll have to see if Stoned is going to opt to get that as well. That could, there it is indeed. So the mirroring continues. See an orbital drop there for a mule doing its thing. That's not... Yeah, it's a mule. Alright. I knew it was a mule. I was just thinking maybe supply drop was also called orbital drop for some reason. I don't know. Either case, there we see a little bit of a difference if it'll stay up. Stone has grabbed a gas on his natural, where pHiL has not. Both players are obviously getting stim as well. Both players getting starports. We do have a turret going down for Stoned. Yes, Stoned is grabbing a turret. A little bit of a precaution against a drop. If pHiL opts to go for that, we will have to keep an eye on that. However, I would suspect to not see something as such. We have a Marine marching across the field here. I'm not sure what he is wanting to do. I'm just checking my HUD there. It didn't work last game, as you may have seen on Thursday. We do have a command center going down for Stone. That is probably going to go down here for his third. However, with the positioning there, it could be a planetary fortress defense if he wants to opt into something like that. It looks like we might be having some action here as two Marine armies are getting ready to clash, and they're almost equal. However, a few sacrificial Marines may levy it out, or whatever the case may be. Here they go. Two medevacs, both sides. However, pHiL has come out on top as he had more Marines there and better advantage in the early game or moments of that battle. And those two medevacs are trying to escape. Looks like pHiL's gonna let them live for the day, and they are gonna try and go home. And they will be key to reinforcing his replacement army that is obviously coming out now. Siege tank going down for pHiL. That is a big difference we have seen here. However, Stoned is building tanks as well. Has he gotten siege tank himself? Where is his factory? How am I? Oh, there we go. He indeed does not have siege tank under research yet. And obviously pHiL's is now done, I believe. Yes, indeed it is. So that's going to give pHiL a clear advantage so far here in this map, as well as he has established his third. It has not yet started to mine. However, Stoned has gone for orbital, so he's going to get some extra mules, even if his third is not mining, like pHiL's is not mining currently. And there he does lift it off. He is hovering it over. And both armies are yet again stalemating a little bit, so I am going to speed it up just a little bit. I'll have to watch pHiL's army here. If it doesn't decide to engage, we will definitely slow the game back down to normal speed. It looks like he might be going to snipe this third. No, he does indeed pull away. Fortunately, a lot of turtling out of both players here in this match. I obviously don't like to see that, as both players have now retreated fully. One SCV sitting on a Zelnaga And another Marine very close to the Xel'Naga, but not quite doing his job to sit on that. And check that out. Stoned has completely saturated that third. Very nice to see. He's reduced the miners on his main a little bit, obviously because that is doing quite well. And his natural is doing decently. Pretty saturated. Not completely, but close enough. I'm not going to call him on it. And those medevacs are out of position. He very sniped those. And the siege tank's coming down. Stone does still not have it. Yes, he does actually. Here it comes. Might be too little too late though, as the Marine lines are pretty much gone. pHiL is taking this to the town. The Marine lines are going down. The siege tanks are sieging each other. The siege tank does indeed go down. All the Marines are gone. The medevacs furiously trying to retreat. And these SCVs are in serious trouble. Looks like pHiL's going to start targeting medevacs and needs to take out those Marines. He doesn't need to take down the Marines. He gets one medevac as well. Is he going to get this orbital? Stone needs to get it out of here as well as these SCVs. What are they doing? They do not need to be mining here. This is dangerous timing. He needs to lift this orbital. He's just going to let it go. Siege tanks are sieging each other yet again. Marines moving in for SCV kills now as the SCVs have gone to repair town. More Marines coming in. Can they take out the siege tank? They do. And now they push away those few remaining Marines, and he actually saves the orbital. He's clearly planning to repair it. A few Vikings going after the medevacs does indeed take one out. And Stoned held it off. He held that third. Well played by Stoned. And he's now grabbing a Ninja Fourth, or, yeah, it's a Ninja Fourth. Close enough. As well as gas on this expansion here. So, well defended by Stoned. He is definitely going to need to replace that army, though, as pHiL will be doing the same, and pretty much already done, actually. pHiL is almost maxed. We will be expecting another rollout from him. A sensor tower as well up by pHiL. He's also grabbing a fourth soon himself. pHiL is a little behind Stoned in that department, but honestly not much, especially because this just isn't saturated. And it looks like Stoned wants to move out himself. However, this army is minuscule in comparison to pHiL's. Stoned gets that scan right down on where the army is. And he's going to have to decide if he actually wants to engage this thing. If he can catch it without the siege tanks, it might be a little bit of an advantage. Here we go. Big army engagement. Marines stimming and moving right in there. Yet again, the lines are melting. Those siege tanks go down ever so quickly. He's going to go for the Marines again. So many Marines going down. It looks like pHiL is going to take this again. However, he only has a few Marines left. But Stone just has nothing left at this time. And that is so many tanks for pHiL. This third might be in trouble yet again, especially if these tanks decide to siege. However, that is quite a few Marines are going to pop off. Two tanks. Can they get a third and a fourth? A third. Just a third, though, and these tanks are going to town. Here come a few more Marines. The tanks have opted not to siege up. That will be useful for retreating. However, that third is almost going down. He barely gets on the repair just in time, and he loses all those tanks. Does not even retreat them. Probably should have sieged them. They opted not to do that and ended up losing them all and not taking out the third again. So Stone doing a very nice job of defending. The question is, of course, can he keep it up? And he's going to definitely need to start saturating his fourth here, as his main is almost gone, oversaturated for the minerals that are there. His natural is doing fairly well, however, could use some more mining time. And obviously his third here is considerably oversaturated. And looks like Stoned wants to move out. However, pHiL's army already matches him in size. However, yes, indeed it does. There we go. Quite a few more units on their way. pHiL doing a very nice job of spending his money. Unfortunately, Stoned is not quite doing that. Has about 2K in the bank. Here goes a few engagement. A few Marines out of position. However, the bulk of the army is now here. SCVs even in this fight. Marines just plowing apart Stone yet again. Unfortunately, that was just a bad engagement for Stone. Losing so many pricey units. Unfortunate to see that. You never want to throw them away like that, especially on a failed attack. If it was a defend, it would be very much a different story. And it looks like he is transferring some SCVs to his fourth here, and now building another command center for a fifth. Question is, where does he want to put that fifth? Looks like he also might be engaging in some drop play on the top left base where there's nothing. We've got an engagement here. Definitely got jumped down to normal speed. So many Marines there. However, the siege tanks on the high ground is causing quite a few inches. So many siege tanks. Stone has to back off, or he would have lost just every single Marine there. And this is kind of a stalemate here. Stone has more tanks, but he also has less tanks, but he also has that high ground advantage. So both players are just gonna sit off and mind their own business for the time being. And that's what caught those Marines on fire. Oh, that's a planetary fortress. Yeah, 8 Marines cannot take a planetary fortress on. That thing does its job and fries a few Mariners. Let's watch this exciting line of... Alright, Phil is going to pull back. I was going to call it some trench warfare as both players just kind of sat in their trench and did nothing. But it looks like Stone is going to move out again. Will he be able to make any ground this time, or will it be another futile attack that he just kind of butts his head against the wall? Let's see if he can make a difference in this fight. However, that is a huge army down there by Phil. Let's see if those siege tanks are going to siege up, or if they're going to... There they go. And be prepared for damage. And wow, just completely liquefying the front line of Stone. He has to completely fall back. Phil's Marines moving in with the stim to try and clean this up. However, their numbers are quickly dwindling, especially with these siege tanks over here. There's only one left and he's gone. However, there is 9 siege tanks over here, if not more. And Phil is going to hold the line for himself. Yet again, Stone backs off. Not going to be engaging that, obviously, with 2 damaged siege tanks. And more SCVs transferring over to this 5th. And look at all those mules. That is pretty impressive amount of mules. With that many mules, you're going to mine a base out pretty dang quick. And it looks like Phil has scanned that base and is not going to stand for it. He's going to run down here and take it out. However, Stone takes the opportunity and moves out while Phil is hitting this. He can do some serious damage. Let's see if that'll be the case. Here comes Phil. He's sieging up, moving his Marines in. Siege tanks are definitely going to do a lot of damage to that planetary, and not even getting a single repair juice in. So many SCVs going down. All of them went down. Just a disgusting loss of forces. The planetary fortress for Phil has gone down as well. However, it looks like some of his SCVs may. Yes, indeed. 4 SCVs for him escape. And will Phil counter with his army here? That should be able to take out what remains of Stone's army. In fact, it didn't shrink much from that planetary fortress. It was just never that big to start off with. And here comes the stim rolling on in. So many Marines just liquefying that front line. They get right into their tanks. I don't even think those tanks got off a single shot. And Stone is crying, losing every single battle, I think, in this game so far. Obviously, he did take out that 4th, which was a nice win for him. And he is actually now establishing a new 5th. I was going to call it 6th, but obviously the old 5th is dead and gone as they swapped planetary fortress bases there. And Stone is now going to be tied up with Phil as Phil is grabbing another expansion, or re-grabbing that 4th there. Actually not tied up, as Stone is sitting on 5 and Phil is only on 4. However, Phil has been making very good use of his minerals. Unfortunately, Stone still has about 2k in the bank. However, check out Phil's gas. Almost 5k gas sitting in the bank. That is so much gas. He could be definitely producing some more expensive units. However, Stone has just been losing all his units, and that's why he doesn't have much gas. However, Phil has just not really had to reproduce these tanks. He's only really been reproducing Marines. So he's kept that gas in the sky. Another engagement here. We're going to need a little more map area. Oh, Phil is actually losing quite a few tanks here. He needs to be careful. Out of range because he can't see the high ground. He's going to lose 2 tanks just to carelessness. The others, however, are going to take out this planetary fortress because Stone did not choose to repair it. Another siege tank goes down. There are only 6 remaining here. And a Marine drop. Oh, a tank drop on tanks. A very interesting choice, but he loses them both. And looks like Phil lost 2 tanks as well. So finally, Phil has lost some siege tanks, and Stone has actually taken a nice supply advantage. Can Stone take advantage of the position he now finds himself in and possibly win this game? We do have massive reinforcements, though, streaming across the map for Phil. A ton of Marines, however, I don't see any reinforcement siege tanks, as he can only probably build 1, 2 at a time. That is all he can build. However, he has quite a few racks. And just look at the funnel of Marines coming in for Phil. However, Stone is keeping his production going up. He is getting quite a few units as well. That orbital definitely doesn't want to land there. Zip will get soused. More Marines just sacrificing themselves to the grinder. Viking shooting the medevac. More Marines backing up the tanks. Wow, that is a lot of siege tanks for Stoned, and he's going to hold that ramp. Phil does not want to push that. He should know that there are other ramps and other expansions that he can hit. However, it looks like Stoned is taking advantage of Phil's indecision, and he's going to rush up here and take out this base. It is not a planetary fortress, so it is quickly going to get sauced without a single Marine lost. No repairs go down. That base is gone. Phil is trying to retreat to defend. This is a small Marine force. Looks like Stone should know he's gone. He's moved his siege tanks down. The Marines are quickly going down. They're not going to get this. Well, they might just get this orbital. They do stop stutter stepping though, and they quickly go down. There's another. What is this command center doing? This orbital is moving across the map. Oh my gosh, it might have been a misclick. I don't know what he was doing with that thing. The Marines go down to Stoned quite easily, and that is still a sizable army by Phil. It does indeed have some tank reinforcements in it. He's up to 6 tanks now. And it looks like we might have the final engagement. That is a lot of siege tanks, but they're so out of position. And the Marines get in there and break the line. It looks like they do. Phil has crushed that siege tank line. That was so many siege tanks. So much money down the drain. The SCVs trying to repair the orbital. However, SCVs attacking the SCVs. Marines clocking out the Marines and whatnot over there. The orbital has lifted off and it goes down. More SCVs getting chopped and plowed through. That bit has definitely met its match, met its day, met its maker. Whatever may be, will do. And yet again, Phil has broken the back of Stone's army. Of course, he does have quite a few reinforcements ready to roll out. And SCV had a very bad day. And looks like he is yet again going to try to grab this base as he desperately needs its minerals, as he has none in his main 3 bases. And this 4th is almost mined out, and actually it's going to die as well to Phil's army, popping off both orbital commands as well as every single SCV and both reactors. So now this is his only opportunity for a mining expansion that is not under heavy contestation. And it looks like we might have another engagement, and this very well might be the final engagement, and minerals are starting to get rare and rare. So many tanks in the front, Phil getting sauced, but there's so many Marines trying to yet again break the line to Phil, and he does indeed do it, or Stoned rather, and Stoned is forced to call the GG, and there's my HUD. Wow, well played by both players. Well done. The mirroring, and unfortunately Stone just kind of had smaller armies each time and came out the bad end of that battle after battle after battle, and that's really just why Stone lost. Anyways, great play by both players. Great Diamond League match. Great mirror matchup. Mirror matchups can be boring, but that one was pretty exciting, and well played to Phil for pulling off that victory. I believe Phil is the fan that sent in the game. I want to thank him for that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is... Oh, that's a supply drop. Don't do that, Phil. Don't do that. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you for watching. I am Zoronden. If you liked this, please do thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch all of you on the other side.